What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another football chatter video. So today I have an FPL draft that I want to show you guys. So it's an FPL video. So the draft on screen right here, right now, is the draft that I'm talking about. We have Onana in goal, and his backup will be Areola. Now, the big thing about this, I just wanted to get into the Manchester United defence, and I think Onana is better than Luke Shaw for that value, because I don't think Luke Shaw gets you that many attacking returns, and Onana should be really good with bonus points because of his distribution. Now, in defence, we have Estupinian, Stones, Gabriel, Chilwell, and Kabore. Now, Kabore is just a 4.0 dud sort of on the bench. I'm not expecting him to give him many points, but he is the sort of player that will probably get minutes and help you a lot there. Chilwell, I just think he's great. He's attacking. When he's fit, he will be really, really good. Now, Gabriel, I just think, he has aerial abilities. He's good on set pieces. And Arsenal good for, some clean sheets. John Stones, advancing into the midfield. Very good distribution. Scored a very decent goal in pre-season for Man City. So I think that's a player that you really want to just look at having. And then Estupinian, he's 50% owned, and I think going without him, or at least going without some Brighton cover in defence, you could go down to Veltman or someone who's 4.5 and try and do it that way. But going without any Brighton would be sort of a suicide if Brighton were to actually do really well. Now, in midfield, you have Foden, Saka, Rashford, Havertz, and Mbeumo. Now, Mbeumo could be any 6.5 in the game. It's just a £6.5 million slot that you just want to have in there. Kai Havertz is one of the players that I want to discuss in this video. So, Kai Havertz is a really, really good player, and he hasn't found his, at Chelsea didn't find the rhythm and was played out of position. Arteta's trying to play him in the Leverkusen position, the position that made him so good, so famous, and so wanted. And yesterday Arsenal faced Monaco in the Emirates Cup, and he came on in the second half and looked really, really, really good. He was good defensively. He was positioning himself a lot better than he did, in the past few preseason games. He had some good impact. He was distributing the ball very well, and I think he is going to be a really, really good option for us to have in FPL. Next to him we have Marcus Rashford. This could be Bruno Fernandes. They said 0.5. I don't really think there's too much in it between them, but both really, really good options. You'll want at least one of them. I don't think I want both, because Man United have tricky fixtures in the start of the season. At some point, you probably will want both the players. But right now I'm going with Rashford. Man United just signed Højlund, and I think Højlund's going to help Rashford so much by just being there as the target man. Rashford can actually play in his favourite left wing position and not as a 9 like he did last season, and that should help Rashford, if he can stay fit, to actually do really well. And then we have Bukayo Saka, who I actually think is a really, really good player, and everybody thinks he's a really good player. He missed a penalty in pre-season, but I think he's still going to be on penalties for Arsenal. I don't see Arteta taking it from him. It's the star boy, it's the star man in the squad, and you don't want to anger that man. But yeah, Bukayo Saka coming in there, probably as captain in the first game week. Could be Haaland, but I like going with my Arsenal boys. And then finally you have Phil Foden, sort of a punt. This could be Bernardo Silva to save 1 million. That is actually a punt that I want to take, or that I'm tempted to take. Phil Foden, 7.5, Bernardo Silva, 6.5. Bernardo Silva should be nailed on as long as Man City don't sign anyone immediately. I think Bernardo Silva is going to play either as that, cam position, or, attacking midfield, left attacking midfield, that Gundogan role, or the right wing position. Of course, that could be Kovacic in that midfield role, but what I saw from pre-season, I watched Man City play the last game against Atletico Madrid, and that Phil Foden was on the right wing, Bernardo Silva was in the centre, and then they swapped positions. You can't do that with Kovacic. Kovacic isn't going to go on the wing, but these two can interchange and swap positions left and right, and there's no problems. So I do think Pep will be tempted to just go with that. De Bruyne is something that we need to discuss, because Alvarez can actually play in those positions, and he was playing in the Kevin De Bruyne position. So if Kevin De Bruyne, who was on the bench at the time, didn't come on, if he's fit for game week 1, we'll see in the Community Shield on Sunday if he is. If he's fit, then we have a bit of an issue with this because Foden and Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne and Alvarez, they could all play in those two positions. So someone's going to get benched. I do think it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne who's going to be benched, but we'll have to see. And then in the forward line, João Pedro, Erling Haaland, and Nkunku. Now, Nkunku did get injured overnight. He did get injured against Borussia Dortmund, and it remains to be seen because it's a knee injury, and those can be quite difficult, as you can see with Gabriel Jesus, who is now injured as well and had a surgery on his knee. So, going without Nkunku is probably what I'm going to be doing. Who's going to come in? It could be Darwin, could be Gakpo. I think actually I'd rather want Gakpo. They're at the same price, and Gakpo started against Bayern München in the pre-season tour. Darwin was on the bench of that game and didn't do too well when he came on. So I'm afraid that Darwin isn't that guy yet. But at some point in the season, 7.5 is huge value for him. I am considering Højlund. I'm considering Jackson for that spot. If I do Jackson, it's 0.5 freed up. We don't know the price of Højlund yet. I'm expecting 7 or 7.5 for him. But if we get Jackson in, it's 0.5 freed up, which means that could be Havertz up to Martinelli. That could be Estupinian up to a 5.5 defender. It could be João Pedro up to a 6 million forward. There's options with that, and it actually frees up some good money. And I mean, you could upgrade Kabore and then actually have one eye on your bench boost early with this team. Now, João Pedro, and of course I'm not going to discuss Erling Haaland in length. Brilliant player, everyone has him. You need him in your team. But João Pedro, he's been starting games for Brighton in pre-season, and he's been looking really, really good. So I think having João Pedro in there is a really good option. Now, he could be on pens. He can play anywhere across the front line, possibly an attacking midfield position. He's a very versatile player. They paid a lot of money for him. He's the number 9. He actually took the number 9 shirt. So I think having him in that draft, I don't think it's daft. I think it's pretty good. And I do think João Pedro is a very decent option if he can be nailed on. Could still change that one. But I really do like this draft. And like I said, you actually can use this draft to bench boost, especially if you go Nkunku down to Jackson, and before Nkunku comes back, you bench boost because Jackson is then probably nailed on as the number 9 in that team, and you could upgrade Kabore to Matty Cash or someone at the 4.5 million range, maybe Botman, and then just bench boost in game week 2, 3. I haven't really looked into how the fixtures would play out for this, but I mean, if Areola is the starting keeper for West Ham, you're nailed on with 15 players playing, and after a few game weeks we'll get a little more of an idea of what we're talking about here. So I do really like this team. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the team? Would you change anything? But I'm going to show you one more thing. So here I'm comparing the draft that I made early on, which is on the right side of your screen. On the left side you'll see the draft that I already have. It's kind of a 3-4-3 versus 3-5-2 debate. The bench, of course, completely absent in that first draft, and we're just showing you the changes. So Gabriel Jesus and Nkunku both injured. So João Pedro and probably Jackson come in for those guys. Saka, Rashford maintaining their place, and Bomo maintaining his place. Mitoma's out of the squad, and João Pedro is coming in instead. And the defence, Ramsdale and Shaw have been replaced with Onana and Gabriel. Stones has found his way in instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But let me know, which draft do you like better? The right one or the left one? The old one or the new one? So I just want to show you guys this because I think it's fun to just look at how our thinking has changed. And if you have a picture of your old draft, of your first draft, do make sure to check that out before you make your final decisions, because you could have influenced your decisions by looking at Twitter or reading some articles or stuff like that. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a really good thing. But I just want you guys to just look at what your original thinking was. Look at what you changed. Think about, why did I change this? Is it the actual information, or is it because everyone else is changing it? Just keep that in mind with the drafts. But that's going to be all for today. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel to help us grow. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.